Hey, we're back at the Big and Tall Movie Review Show. How are you? Hold on there. All right, we're discussing a lot of things changed in the last month or so regarding the future. That is with me always, Max, Big Red. The future of the DC Comics and what's going on as far as the Man of Steel was released, and now we got, what do we have, a new Batman? Batman. Yes, Ben Affleck has been announced as the man.
I feel like we've been waiting forever for a new Batman
He's the
movie.
man from Fashionable Mail.
So
stay out of. Don't get in the back of his.
So they offered. Let's just break this down because I know. Look, we've all discussed the superhero genre. Maybe the keg may be running empty. May have tapped itself out. May have. What were you saying, Max?
Shit the bed.
No, shit the no. What about the jump? The what?
Jump to the
shark.
Completely.
Yes, but the fact of the matter is that they're going to continue to throw these pictures at us. So, being the movie review people we've got to break down what we think of what's going to happen with this, because these things are going to, people are going to go see this. They're going to know what are we going? Am I going to see this, that, whatever? So they've decided they threw half a continent worth of money at Christian Bale,
and he said no.
Backed the Brinks truck up, and he's like, I
really don't want to take all that money, so I just don't.
My throat on this movie. Now, let me give you a little bit of a rundown here, kind of the timeline of all this.
I'm allergic to money.
Yes. Starting about January.
He's always had an art house actor side to him. So
just don't mess with the lights when he's filming like in Terminator. You'll get cussed at for 30 minutes. Trying to act here.
Oh, God.
Find it on YouTube.
Yeah, if you were a major actor and you got cast in that piece of garbage, you'd be yelling at stagehands, too.
When you work with a director called McG, what do you expect?
Yeah. So what? So what's the deal?
All right, let's.
So
go.
I'm
Let's
not
do
going to
some-
do Batman.
Let's hear
You
it.
find some other schmuck.
Let's do some Batman here. Starting in this kind of story starts in January this year. Zack Snyder, who directed The Man of Steel, apparently approached Ben Affleck about playing Batman. And apparently over several months, the two of them met, discussed the character, the story, where they're wanting to go with it, which, at least to me, it wasn't a split decision. At least they're giving some thought to it.
Yeah,
Which has been more thought than anybody's given the DC comic stuff lately, it seems like. At least they seem to have a plan. So in March, and we reported this on the Big and Tall show,
yes,
that we talked about how the Warner Brothers had seen some of the footage from Man of Steel, was very excited about it.
Yeah.
We're already, planning a sequel. So at this point, I think that's when kind of the talks between Snyder and Affleck really. Of course, during this time, Ben Affleck was winning Oscars for Argo, which meant he pretty much could go anywhere he wanted to.
Affleck, you don't bomb in Phantom, Joe!
That's right.
And so,
at the end, kind of all was quiet until Man of Steel was released in June, and I'd say the big opinion on Man of Steel, most people will say good, not great. Was way better than Superman Returns, a decent start to the franchise.
and I would look at, most of the critics the Man of Steel critics, if you look at it, and they may have been swayed slightly, but it really seemed like out of 5 reviews, 3 were good.
Yeah.
2 were,
there was enough to like about it.
I think there was enough that invested in it that they're like, we got to roll with this. And I believe landing a solid Batman character, actor-wise, they need a familiar face.
Especially since Henry Cavill is not really a widely known.
Yeah,
I thought he was solid.
And we discussed this on the website about how that Affleck, after peaking with the when he came out of nowhere, and him and Damon put out the
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and took off with that he kind of took a lot of bad choices and stalled out.
Took the checks,
and Daredevil was one of those checks. Armageddon, bunch of there's some raspberry awards to go with your Oscar nominations, and then he tapped out,
married a bunch of Jennifers,
and then he got into directing, and it's a good time for him to try to go back into the popular genre, so to speak. And you got. I don't know what they're paying him, but I mean,
I don't know either.
They're investing quite a
Yeah.
bit of money in this to work.
But and the big thing to
But I
remember
still feel
here
like
is-
there's a ton of questions with this whole DC thing.
but to remember though here, Batman will be appearing in Man of Steel 2, which means Batman will be a supporting character. He's not going to be the lead. He's not going to be. Batman may only be in this movie 10 minutes, and nobody knows. But just remember, he is appearing in Man of
He's
Steel 2.
going to be in it according to how much.
This is.
I
Going to be
think
fighting a gang of.
And
No.
this is a way.
Street.
This is a way to set up the new Batman universe.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling on the outcome of what we've seen with your first Man of Steel that's come out. I have a feeling that the Batman character is going to have a pretty big role in this.
You would think.
He's
you would think.
I think it'd be maybe there's more of a chance of a cameo if the Man of Steel had been a huge hit.
Yeah.
And people are rushing out to see it 3 times. I'm not
But
thinking
one-
so. I think they got a lot invested in Affleck on this.
Yeah.
Which
Let's
is,
go-
he's sticking his neck out.
Yeah.
He's sticking his neck back. Here's a guy that's had his head cut off by the media and everyone else under the sun.
Yeah.
Come back, got himself to the top. Yeah, he's taking the paycheck. He's got a wife, family. Now he's sticking his head back in the guillotine, going, "Here, I'm a jackass. I'm gonna get it cut off again." He is gambling big time
Yeah.
on this, and I know they're paying him and blah blah blah, and he's getting money. Honestly, if I was him, if I sit back and think about this, I don't even know if I think money-wise it's worth it. But
I think
credibility-wise,
I don't think though for money wise, I don't think he's hurting. For
I
any
think
money.
sticking his head into this
Yeah.
is he is really he's sticking he's here I am. I really don't feel like he's got enough solid. This is gonna do it for him. I mean, he's sticking his neck on the line.
what
They
is
should
the-
be very
again,
happy to get him.
The
Really.
thing that I like about this is that
I wouldn't
appar-
stick my neck on the line. I backed out of that.
so I mean, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
as apparently like I said, these talks started in January, so they've put some thought into it. Both sides,
Mm-hmm.
they've talked about what they're wanting to do, so it's not just a,
And what? Okay.
spur of the moment
and-
decision.
and-
I want to be
and
Batman.
what-
I think
they-
he's really.
yeah.
He's really taking, some style. Because let's face it, after Argo, the guy he could pretty much pick and choose what he wants to do.
That's
Yeah,
why I'm
just because you
shocked
can doesn't mean you should.
That's
though.
what I'm kind of worried.
It seems like they just
Let's-
grabbed Ben Affleck. Oh, well, he's huge right now, so let's go ahead and,
we can-
claim him for
well,
Batman.
Well, let's
Yeah.
ask him to do it, and he did it. I mean, he could have said, "I'm not doing this. You crazy?" But
but I think it's
okay,
going to be
I
cheesy
think-
as shit, though.
well,
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know how it's going to be. Now you go ahead, Mark. You talk.
Well,
about
like I
this.
said,
I'll
again-
tell you my negatives and positives when you're done.
Again, he's a supporting character. So the worst thing that could happen is if he sucks up the
supporting
joint,
in what Superman?
he's Man of Steel 2. He's a supporting character.
Wait, I think he's going to be more.
It's Man of Steel 2. There's no Batman in the title. But if Batman's going to be a major
It's not.
player,
It's
they're
not
gonna
Superman versus
Be,
Batman.
it's Man of Steel 2. That's
He's
going
gonna
to
have a bit role in it, though.
So he'll have a
He'll
supporting
have
role.
Supporting role.
Exactly. So he's not. If this doesn't pan out, you recast.
He must have liked the script enough or heard
So-
enough possibility. Let's go on with the other positives. With this.
But exactly, the thing is, he apparently has signed a multi-film contract. They are wanting to expand their DC universe like Marvel and have actors. So apparently, from what I've heard, he could be signed up for up to 6 appearances.
Oh God.
But remember, though, when Samuel L. Jackson signed up for like 10 when he signed up for Iron Man. So it could be a cameo. It could just 6 appearances. It doesn't mean that he's going to be starring in all those. Could be a 2-minute cameo.
And they may
in
be-
another
they
year.
may
But
be-
it does
they-
mean that there's going to be 6
So-
more.
Well, they may
movies
be
that I'm
using
gonna
him.
have to
They
see.
may be
Yeah.
using him as like the head of the Justice League.
Kind of,
I'm
yeah.
Batman. I'm trying to
Something
set
like that.
Yeah, but
So-
the thing of the matter is, they got the. Go ahead.
Apparently, rumor has it that Bryan Cranston has signed on as Lex Luthor,
And that's a positive.
and he has also signed a similar deal for multi appearances in other movies. It sounds like he may be the big bad guy of the DC universe that kind of expands, pulling a lot of strings. It sounds like, which
Yeah.
I'm happy with.
I like Bryan Cranston, but
Yeah.
I still just couldn't care less about this entire franchise, though.
But I mean, I think it's interesting with Cranston involved with it. I just feel like they're kind of
They're
I
rushing
feel
it.
like they're running out of time because I feel like they've the superhero concept as we look at the Wolverine and other things that's going on. It's just not pulling like it used to, and I'm worried that they're kind of running out of time with it. They also don't have a third you can't get Ryan Reynolds didn't do so well with the Green Lantern. They're needing a third DC person, I believe, to do this, aren't they?
They've talked about Flash, maybe trying to get a Flash movie, which
Now, if they want to just do Batman and Superman combo films or something,
I think to me that's where I would go, because quite frankly, the other Justice League characters to me are, Flash, a guy that runs fast. Well, guess what? Superman can run fast.
Yeah, it seems.
To me, if you're going to do
Superman, what the hell do you?
To
really
me, if
need
you're
going to
do one, it ought to be. You probably ought to try to figure out Wonder Woman, which that's kind of a tough nut to crack.
Well, I think they ought to.
Today's
and Ryan Reynolds will not do Green Lantern.
Apparently, he's done with that. He's not that. Who would want to see it after that last one?
Killed Green Lantern, killed Deadpool. Let's see how many other superheroes
I think
Ryan Reynolds can
is
bury.
done with the comic book genre, because he's
not done so hot.
No.
With it. Okay.
Again, I just think people need to be patient, because there's a lot of unknowns still.
Yeah.
A lot of unknowns.
I think
with
the studios need to be patient with these films, because I'm tired of 19 superheroes movies coming out every year.
Well, DC's jealous. They want to get some of that money. They see what Disney and them are raking in with the Avengers and all that. And
I tell you what, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that the Avengers 2 is going to be very good at all. Who knows?
It doesn't matter. It's going to make money.
Well, people will go see it.
By growth, it won't matter. I
mean,
you could have Iron Man coming out and taking a big dump for 30 minutes. It's still going to make $200-300 million.
Yeah, and they have they do have some appealing things in it, like with the Hulk and stuff. The characters don't have movies 2, 3, 4 coming out.
Well, let's face it. I think Batman's probably, if the superheroes, is the most popular.
Well, yeah, it's because they just had a whole franchise that just ended.
In general, though, I'm talking about not recently. I would say
overall,
I think Batman is probably one of the most popular superheroes. Let's face it. You've always heard talk about Batman movies through the years. You didn't hear much about after the Christopher Reeve Superman franchise died down.
No,
Superman was dormant for years, and there wasn't even any talk about bringing him back.
No, and it was. Yeah, Batman's got more of appeal because he's kind of the dark character who actually doesn't have any superhero powers. He's just got gadgets, which makes him more relative to the human being species. Therefore, he has this, we all want to be rich. We want to be, get the girls and then at night run off in a suit and take out bad guys with our toys. Yeah. That's the deal. We don't come from the planet Krypton. We don't know how to fly, and we therefore don't have a castle made of light sticks and whatever the hell Christopher Reeve was dancing in and stuff back in the old ones. So, or shoot webs, or have things come out of our claws, or knuckles that slice and dice Ginsu knives. So we don't really,
I'm gonna be boycotting all of these. I'm pretty sure. Feel free to join me, folks. It's the only way to stop them.
Nobody wants to see.
Well, I feel like the Justice League's, what are they coming out? 2015.
Who knows?
Through
right now, the Justice League is kind of. I think a lot of it depends on how this Batman Superman movie does. Of course, again, there's no talk too about with Affleck. Will he be directing any of this stuff?
I doubt it.
There was rumor.
Doesn't seem like his kind of movie.
There was actually a rumor going around in July that got squashed pretty quickly about him directing Justice League, but then that got squashed pretty quickly by all sides, which I think they were just trying to keep the news quiet about him. So who knows? There could be some legs to him directing. I don't know. All right. I'll give the guy a chance after The Town and Argo, 2 very, very good movies.
All right. Well, I think this is going to do it for the Big and Tall Movie Review Show. This has been our review on discussion of the...
We ran out of beer, so we had to end it.
The Ben Affleck being cast as Batman, Justice League, and where do they go from here?
If it doesn't work, you can always do Phantoms too.
I'm down for anything. I'm ready for another Jay and Silent Bob 27 or wherever that on.
I like this,
Actually, Clerks 3, I think, is what Kevin Smith has.
Let's hope not Kevin James.
We
more fat jokes.
This is going to say Adam Sandler's got some pretty good reach.
All right, we're out of here. This is the Big and Tall Movie Review Show. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Because I wasn't with a hooker today. Ha ha!